justice, amended reasoning skill, help us to use them wisely in the service of our town government. We ask this in thy holy name, amen. We'll salute the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everybody here this evening. The first thing on the agenda, we have a new board member, Richard Favreau. We need to have him sworn in.
Richard, please stand. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do swear
I do swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of council member
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of council member
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
I do so swear.
I do so swear.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard, Richard.
Thank you.
Under the public forum, we normally have a public forum at the beginning of the meeting. If anybody would like to address the board on any issue, probably other than the burning law, we might be concerned about, at 7:15 we've scheduled a public hearing on the burning law, so you'll have an opportunity at that time to speak at that issue. Does anybody wish to address the board at this time? Wayne?
I just have a couple things to report. Just wonder if it was legal to have your relative do this. Congratulations. Just want to report that our airport terminal is progressing very well. It should be completed within a few months. We have a few other projects at the airport before we can open, like nav aids and the fuel farm and the fire loop and stuff like that. We're due to open in early summer. And we're still looking for commercial industrial tenants. We have two marketing firms, the Development Corporation, the Clinton County Development Corporation, and the Chamber. And they're working very hard for passenger service leads as well as tenants for the airport. We have our annual New York State Association of Counties meeting coming up at the end of January. It's held every year in Albany. We plan to meet with our state legislators again to cover some issues that all counties are dealing with, and one of them is the early intervention program. I don't know if you're aware, but children aged 0 to until they start school, if they have special needs, the county pays for their special needs, whether therapy, speech therapy, occupational, physical, special schooling, whatever it is they need until they start school. And this is fine, but we have absolutely no say in this. We have no say in who gets in the program or how much it costs. And this year, we were given an additional bill in the middle of the year for $500,000. One of our schools just said, our rates have gone up. So I think all counties are dealing with this because it's one of these unfunded mandates that counties have to bear. And, we will be discussing this, our legislators, amongst other things like Medicaid and some other social services problems. There's a special election coming up to fill the Area 3 legislative seat sometime in March. You know, Joe Giroux left to become county treasurer, so that seat is now open. We continue to have our first-time homebuyers program. We've had our third grant, $400,000. If there's anyone in our community who is a first-time homebuyer and would like some financial assistance, they can contact me or the county. I'll be happy to put them in touch with whomever. We have no road programs this year. Closest one to us would be the Angelville Road Bridge, which will be totally replaced. That's between Champlain and Moores. Next year in Champlain, they will be overlaying the La Valley Road. That would be a Champlain project, but there aren't any this year. I continue to be chairman of Buildings and Grounds. I've also been assigned as liaison to Soil and Water Conservation as well as Cooperative Extension, so a couple more evening meetings a month. So I'm happy to be doing that, and I will keep you posted.
Scott, I need a motion to approve the minutes of December 27th.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of December 27th.
Second.
Any questions on the minutes, December 27th? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. There's a couple changes really you may want to keep track of that meeting, I believe. Okay. This organizational meeting, I need to appoint all my committees for the year. I'm appointing Craig Hicks as my deputy supervisor. The grants committee will be John Paul Tetro and Craig Hicks. Water and sewer committee will be Jules Strahan, Craig Hicks, and Mike Tetro. Highway committee will be Craig Hicks and John Paul Tetro. The building committee will be John Paul Tetro and Richard Favreau. Emergency preparedness will be Craig Hicks and Richard Favreau. Handicap discrimination committee will be John Paul Tetro and myself. Town policy committee will be myself and Craig Hicks. The zoning committee will be Richard Favreau. Planning committee, Jules Strahan. Landfill committee will be Jules Strahan and John Paul Tetro. Code and zoning officer, Michael Tetro, Jr. Registrar of vital statistics is Julie Capstein. Budget officer is myself, Ray Barkle. Harassment officer will be Jane West, Timmy Parsons. Fixed access records will be Jane West. Youth director will be Linda Fredette. Cable franchise committee will be Richard Favreau. Dog control officer will be Bruce Supernow. Fire district liaison will be Craig Hicks. Safety officer, Tim Parsons and Mike Tetro. Board of Assessment Review, John Paul Tetro. Parks and Youth Committee Programs will be Richard Favreau, John Paul Tetro and Craig Hicks. Historian will be Roy Clark. We need to check and review the town policies. Personnel, conflict of interest, code of ethics, sexual harassment, drug-free workplace, procurement, alcohol and drugs, safety and health, investments, disaster response, hazardous material response, and hazardous communications. I need a motion to accept those town policies.
I make a motion to accept that. I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any questions on any of them? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's also carried. I need to read the salaries for this coming year. The supervisor's salary is $19,000. Council members is $6,150. Superintendent of highways is $15,500 for the elected position and $22,000 for the full-time working position. Town clerk is $20,700. The additional duties for the water and sewer clerk is $3,105. And for planning and zoning clerk is $7,763. We have two justices at $18,342 each. Marriage officers $1,000. Our youth director is $3,250. Board of Assessment and Review is $300. There's 5 on that board. The town clerk registrar, this is the assistant, deputy town clerk registrar is $650. Okay. We need to set the meeting date, time, and place. I'm recommending that we set it as second Tuesday of the month, as it is now. The place is here at the town hall, and the time is 7 p.m. each second Tuesday of the month. I need a motion to approve that.
Make a motion to approve second Tuesday of the month at 7 o'clock here at the town of Champlain.
Okay?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. We need to designate the following banks as our official depositories. We have a possibility of 4 of them. Champlain National, which we use most of the time now. Citizens Bank, Evergreen, and it's also been mentioned to me to use the Tupper Lake National Bank. It's up to the board on this. Do you want the 3 that we've been doing, or do we want to add the 1?
Make a motion to put all 4 on.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. Is there any questions? All those in favor? Opposed? That's carried. We need to designate Plattsburgh Republican Press Republican as our town official newspaper. I need a motion.
I need a motion to take Press Republican paper.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. We need to designate William Favreau as our town attorney. Make a motion.
I make a motion to designate.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's also carried. We need to designate the official town attorney for zoning and planning, Thomas Moraine, from Stafford Owen Curtin's law office.
I make a motion to designate Tom Renane, the official town attorney for zoning and planning.
Second the motion.
Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. To set the mileage reimbursement rate for driving personal vehicles, the last year it was at 35 cents per mile. The official US government has just gone up to 48.5 cents per mile. We've never had it, that I know of anyways, that we've never had it full 100% what the federal government rate was. But is it the will or the desire of the board to leave it at 35 cents or raise it?
I'll make a motion to leave it at 35 cents.
Fine.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to set the mileage rate for 35 cents per mile. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We need to set the spending limit for the highway superintendent to purchase things without board approval for up to $1,500. This is a normal practice which has been done in the past.
Make a motion to leave it at $1,500.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Set a spending limit of $1,500 for the highway superintendent without board approval. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Donations to the local veteran organization, it's $100 each upon submission of vouchers from those organizations. Need a motion.
I make a motion to leave it at $100.
Second the motion.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's also carried. We need a motion to authorize payment in advance of audit claims for public utilities, postage, freight, express charges, and all payroll-related deductions.
Make that motion.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We need a delegate to the town's association meetings in February in New York City. I will not be going. Craig, are you going?
Yes.
As deputy supervisor?
Yes.
Would you be a delegate?
Sure.
Okay. I need a delegate that would need to, I need a motion to approve the delegate first.
Make a motion to approve delegate.
Okay, delegate, okay, I need a second.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I need an alternate delegate. I don't know who's going, you're not going, John?
No.
Jules, you going?
I think so.
Have you planned on going, Richard? Joel, if you go, will you act as an alternate?
No, I won't.
Okay. We'll hold off until February meeting to see who's going there. Okay. I need a motion to pay registration fees, bus fares, hotel, and designated dollar. We normally advance $200 to members that do go, attending officials for the association meeting. This is a normal practice, what we've done in the past.
I made that motion, as you stated.
Okay, $200 each, and plus the bus fare and hotel rooms. Did I get a second to that? I need a second.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I got just a couple minutes after 7:15. We need to adjourn our meeting and go to a public hearing on the open burning law. Julie, will you read the notice? You got the notice that was in the paper?
Please take further notice that a public hearing will be held at the regular meeting of the town board of the town of Champlain on Tuesday, January 9th, 2007, at 7:15 p.m. at the town office building, 729 Route 9, Champlain, New York, as follows. Local law number 1 of 2007, regulating open burning within the town of Champlain. All persons interested will be given an opportunity to speak or to offer written opinions, either for or against the proposed local law. Copies of said proposed local law is available for review at the town clerk's office. The meeting is open to the public. Other business will be taken up at this meeting by order of the town board of the town of Champlain.
Thank you. Do most people have a copy? Some people have copies of it, do they? Does anybody want it read in entirety? We will do that if you desire of somebody. Or do you want? Let me open it up to the public. If there's any questions, we will read it to you. Okay? Does anybody wish to address the board at this time on the open burning law?
I'd like to hear it. Did you read it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I pass these out to the board members?
Yes.
Local law regulating open burning within the town of Champlain. Be it enacted by the town board of the town of Champlain as follows. Section 1. No person, firm, or corporation, or any other body owning, controlling, or possessing a building, structure, or property in the town of Champlain should permit, cause, suffer, or allow the burning of any material outside of a structure at any time for any cause within a permit as required herein. Section 2. It should be prohibited to open burn any materials in the town of Champlain unless a permit has been obtained from the town code enforcement officer and the Clinton County Emergency Services has been notified of the time, location, and nature of the burn. Section 3. A permit may be issued by the code enforcement officer to permit the burning of only such trees, brush, or other clean, untreated wood products and similar material as approved by the code enforcement officer. Section 4. An application for a permit should be submitted on a form provided by the code enforcement officer of the town of Champlain, which shall include such detail as necessary to determine compliance with these regulations. All applications should be signed. The application should then be submitted for review to the code enforcement officer, whereby a permit shall be issued if found to be in conformance with these regulations. A copy of the issued permit will be forwarded to the chief of the applicable fire department. Permits must be applied for at least 48 hours in advance of the proposed burning event. Permits may be revoked upon finding that the regulations and/or conditions attached to said permit or other applicable laws have not been complied with. Section 5. These regulations should not apply to the following: any duly conducted fire department training exercise, the operation of an existing farm practice, cooking of food in a contained burning pit, barbecue, or fireplace as long as such is not a fire hazard. However, A and B require notification to the Clinton County Emergency Services. Section C. The following conditions are applicable to all permits. No petroleum products or material other than wood products shall be used to start or maintain any fire. Tree stumps and roots should not be burned. All fires are to comply with applicable code, rules, and regulations, including but not limited to the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation Regulations, the New York State Uniform Fire Prevention and Building Code, and the National Fire Protection Association codes. All fires should be attended at all times with proper extinguishing equipment. The permit holder should be liable for any damage caused by any fire activities that may result from any burning action. All fires should be extinguished by order of the fire chief or code enforcement officer after compliant or assistance of a hazardous condition or violation of any of the terms and conditions of the permit. Penalties. Violations of any provisions of this law should be punishable as follows. First offense is $100, second is $500, third offense is $1,500, or up to 30 days incarcerated in county jail.
Thank you, Julie. Does anyone wish to address the board? Dennis?
Yes, Dennis Roberts, Rouse's Point. As a volunteer fireman for the last 20 years, I applaud the board for looking into this. We spent countless hours responding to fires that were set due to reckless burning, and I applaud the board, and I hope you get good luck.
Thank you. Chris?
Chris Champlain, Fire Chief of Champlain, and just a little history. We've been working on this law for the last few months. Started off, Bruce Seguin, former trustee, helped us out. Later came back with updated burning law from Bill Favreau, which is a little bit more applicable, I think. Something that modeled the town of Plattsburgh. And it really works well for us as the fire department, and it works well for Mike Tatro, who we work with closely, especially over the last 2 years. Our incidental fires have grown exponentially to the point where they've caused some damage to properties. There's some cancer damage out there. There's some health risk out there, I believe. More towards burning barrels, low incipient burns that just burn for days and days. And probably what you guys don't see is the calls that we get, or that I get at home to go extinguish these fires, or people neighbor against neighbor type thing. And we're not trying to create any more laws as much as we're just trying to protect the people and to help us out as an agency. And Dennis mentioned Ross's Point. We don't really have any problems in the village of Champlain in our district. And I don't want to speak for Ross's Point, but I don't think they have any problems either. And it's nice to go in these places and not have to smell this stuff. Where we have the problem is out in the town. And I hope you can support us on this. And we believe strongly that out of the 50 or 60 fires that we went to last year, those could have been prevented. And it's not a seasonal thing, it's all year round. It's brought out a little bit more during grass fire season, around April or May. Who knows, that season may be a little bit longer this year because we don't have a lot of snow on the ground. But if you have any questions, let us know. But I think the law that we've worked on and that's been revised from Bill Favreau is really applicable, and it's something that we can work with the town code enforcement officer with. So, thank you.
Does anyone else wish to address the board? Any questions? Very quiet, surprising.
Where were these pictures taken?
Those, I handed out a presentation, and I apologize because I didn't bring enough. I brought enough for the town board members, and I'll pass these out. Anybody wants to see them? Some of these pictures I don't want to divulge. They were in the town of Champlain. And they weren't at John Paul's farm, and they weren't at your place, but they were in the town of Champlain. I don't want to, create any problems for
Well,
anybody.
that's what my question was, is
Yeah.
these
These are actual pictures, and again, I'll share this with everybody out here, but this is what we face a lot. We have a lot of tire fires, we have a lot of garbage fires. I like living in this town, whether I'm fire chief or not, doesn't really matter, but I take a lot of pride in this town. I don't take a lot of pride in these pictures, and that's what we're seeing. I realize Cooper's Trucking, for example, and Ross Point is out of business. We're getting some more different vendors in here. It's not cheap, as you know, to go visit the guy at the dump, if you will, but there's proper ways and there's already laws in place. But picture speaks 1,000 words. In this case, I put 3 or 4 pictures in there, so there's about 4,000 words.
Does anybody else have any questions or concerns? Yes,
Richard Gay from Champlain. I'm looking at section 5 and part C for cooking, for food. What about the burning pits, like say for recreational, like there's commercial items which are on the market now where you can have logs and you can have like a bonfire. Are that going to be allowed?
that would come under recreational, Bill?
Yes, this, it was not intended that this law would apply to burning in a pit. It does have the language of cooking food, but any kind of outdoor burning, as long as it's within a controlled, what is normally a fire pit or fireplace.
Okay.
It's not intended to apply to that, as long as there's not burning of garbage in that fire.
Okay. Yeah, recreational fires like a bonfire or something, they're legal. They need to be attended to, but they're legal. Outside cooking is legal,
Yes.
not necessarily just in a gas grill or something, in an open fireplace, outside fireplace you can burn.
Yeah, Larry, if we can, we're not having a lot of problems with that type of burning. What we're having problems with is unattended burning and burning of tires, burning of garbage, like you see in the pictures. Things of that nature are, and we're also, one thing I've learned from Mike is education. If this is gonna, if this law goes through, it's gonna take a year or two to educate people. You just can't expect people to, if they've been burning, using a burning barrel, if you will, to just, we're not gonna go out looking for this stuff. We have enough business right now, we don't need to look for any more. But, it's just an educational thing that we work closely with Mike on and say, look, you had a fire, had some damage, we're not gonna call the state police on you or anything like that, but over time, and it took Plattsburgh, town of Plattsburgh, correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, but probably about a year or two to educate people on the right thing to do, so to speak, or what we believe is the right thing to do.
Anybody else, any other questions? Questions, concerns? Everybody a chance? Then I need to close the public hearing. Thank you, we're back to public board, monthly board meeting. We will be voting on this, I suspect, in a few minutes on the budget, on the agenda. Back to the regular agenda. I need a financial resolution as follows. In lieu of filing the town's financial report by the supervisor with the real estate audit controller, he is authorized instead to file a copy of his annual report given to the state controller's office within 60 days of the close of the financial year. And further, he forwarded a copy of the proof of publication of said report in the official town newspaper when filing with the said audit and control. I need a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve this resolution.
Thank you. And second? Second. Any questions on it? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Post audit resolution, authorizing payment in advance of audit and claims for public utilities, service, postage, freight, and express charges. All such claims shall be presented at the next regular board meeting for audit, and the claimant and the officer incurring or approving the same shall be jointly and severally liable for any amounts disallowed by the board.
Make a motion to post that resolution.
Thank you.
Second the motion.
Any questions on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution for the township municipal bond authorization. Julie, you need to,
Everybody's got a copy of it. It's designating Champlain National Bank as depository for the funds of Champlain Township.
okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We did have a public hearing, it's on my agenda here, down a little further. I need to have a motion on the desire of the board as far as passing or not passing the fire ban, fire law.
I make a motion that we pass fire law.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Is there any questions? Any board member have any questions on this burning law? I will go over a roll call vote. Craig?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Jules?
Yes.
And yes for myself. Passes 5-0. Just for information only, we have a driver's training course here on January 27th from 9 in the morning to 3:15 in the afternoon. I believe there is, I'm not sure. Yes. This is for, I believe it's for point reduction on licenses and stuff.
Also, insurance rate too, I
Yes.
believe too.
We do this a couple times a year, I believe they do it here, okay? Okay.
3 years.
Is it? Yeah, okay. We got a letter from Real Property Office Services Office, that we receiving a check for $15,550, because we're up to date on our annual certification of our assessment rolls. I have an upcoming meeting in Russell's Point for the Water Building Committee on January 24th. I have nothing to report there. Everybody in their packet has the JCEO monthly report for November. We do not have December yet. You have a memo for your January work schedule, the Fridays of this month for the assessor who's in our building every Friday, the county assessor. We have a notice mostly pertains to farmers for the National Research Conservation Service for the sign-up programs. We have a notice from the Clinton County Legislator's Office. It's a supervisor statement, tax roll and tax rate comparison. For everybody's happy they got their tax bills. Association of Town meeting in February. You need to let us know real soon, those that want to go. We can make plans for that. You also have the zoning minutes of November 16th in your packet. Your planning board meeting in November's minutes also in your packet. Highway Department, Alan?
I don't have much to say, we're saving on sand and salt, wear and tear, as long as this keeps up. But I also got, Road and Garfield Road, Julie wants to read that resolution. We just got it today.
Whereas the town board of the town of Champlain has recently been advised that there are 2 roads that for many years have been maintained as town roads, but that same are not listed on the town's highway inventory list filed with the New York State Department of Transportation. Whereas it is the best interest of the town to have all roads within the town properly listed on the town's highway inventory, and the proper listing of all roads affects funding received from the state for the maintenance of said roads. Now therefore, after due deliberation and consideration thereon, it is hereby resolved that the town board of the town of Champlain does hereby authorize and direct that the highway superintendent for the town of Champlain provide to New York State Department of Transportation an amended highway inventory list to include the following 2 roads which have been maintained by the town for the past 30+ years. Garceau Road, which intersects with the Dubois Road and travels in the easterly direction for approximately 377 feet to the westerly bounds of Interstate 87. The paved portion of said road is approximately 18 feet wide in width and the actual right of way is 50 feet wide. The Gallant Road, which intersects with the Duval Road and travels in a generally easterly direction for a distance of 498 feet to the westerly bounds of Interstate 87. The paved portion of said road is approximately 18 feet in width, and the actual right-of-way is 50 feet wide.
Okay. I need a motion to approve these two roads if it's the desire of the board. They're less than 1,000 feet between the two roads.
I have a question.
Yes?
You got it down here 50 feet wide, and our roads are supposed to be 60 feet wide. Is
Okay.
it time to change this to 60 now?
No, actually, 50-foot wide is acceptable unless you have some different, that would be for new roads. This is something that's.
50 feet, I mean, I look at 50 feet, matter of fact, I'm on that lawn.
Comes in and say, you got 50 there, well, I'll 50 here.
Well, no, this is something that, actually, these roads were never dedicated, I believe, to the town. There's no
I
record
think it
of
was
it.
something that was,
Exactly, and after, you
Overlooked.
know, in town law or town highway law, if something's been used and maintained as a town right-of-way for a period in excess of 10 years, then it becomes a town right-of-way. And this is just something to add it to the CHIPS program for reimbursement from the DOT. Exactly. But and actually, well, no, because I don't think, and actually, we haven't even maintained 50 feet in width.
and you'd be right in the guy's porch.
Exactly. So, we use that number, but, I don't even know if we frankly have 50-foot right of way. But whatever is existing there is obviously grandfathered in and has been maintained in excess of 10 years, so would continue as a town right of way. But I think this just authorizes, our highway superintendent to amend the list with DOT so we can, it's not much road footage, but at least it provides some additional reimbursement. And the town's been maintaining for all these years, but I don't know how we could really extend it even beyond, even if 50 feet is a bit of a stretch considering what's actually been maintained.
Okay. Any other questions? I need a motion to approve if it's the desire of the board.
I make a motion to accept this resolution.
Okay.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Just going backwards a little bit, I have a sample application for the building permit, burning permits, if people want one. There's absolutely no charge to come in and get one. And it tells you on here, one sheet form, very simple, no charge. We're open 8 to 4 every day. Just wanted you to know that, if you're available. That's no charge. Yes? Oh, I'm sorry, I missed the, on which one?
Call vote. On the road.
On the roads? Okay, I'm going back to the roads. You do have a first and second on that too?
Yes.
Roll call vote then, okay. Craig?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Richard?
Yes.
Joes?
Yes.
Yes for myself. I need approval of the monthly bills. I need a motion.
Make a motion that we, pay the monthly bills.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any questions on the monthly bills? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. The post audit bills? Do you have the post audit bills?
I make a motion to pay the oral solid bill, which I've already been paid.
Okay. Next, second. Is there any questions on the post audit bills? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Town clerk's report, Julie.
I just like to appoint Jane West as my deputy town clerk tax collector register. The board also needs to appoint, Janice Letourneau as marriage officer, if you wish to do that.
Okay.
And, I would like to, get permission to attend the New York State Building Codes Educational Conference in Lake Placid on March 5th through the 8th. And I have a copy of the yearly report for town clerk's office for your review.
Okay?
And that's all I have.
Thank you. We'll take those three at one, separately, I believe, if it's okay. Jane West is your deputy town clerk, right? And
Register.
register, okay? I need a motion,
I'll make that motion.
okay? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Jane West is the deputy. Any questions on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Janice, for the mayor's officer?
Yes.
Okay, I need a motion to approve, Janice Letourneau as our marriage officer.
I make the motion for Janice marriage council.
I'll second that.
Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And the third thing, Julie, was the,
To attend the New York State Building Codes Educational Conference in Lake Placid. Lake probably needs approval too, because we both attend
okay,
in March,
in March.
March 5th through the 8th.
Need a motion, if it's the desire of the board, to approve Julie and Mike both go to, with zoning or planning, is it zoning?
No, it's the building codes.
Building
New York
codes.
State building codes.
New York State Building Codes
So we
meeting.
continue with our certificate,
In Lake Placid,
yes.
okay.
I made that motion.
And I'll second that.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Mike, do you have anything you wanna report on the water and sewer?
Just had a request from Rite Aid about, the town providing a water line to them. That's on the opposite side of Route 11 from the village of Champlain. It's up to the board, told the guy I would give him a call back tomorrow as to what we're gonna do here. As you all know, we did get awarded a grant from the Shared Services to study all this stuff. So if you wanna wait for the results of this study, you know, whatever your wishes are, I just want you to know we had a request.
And this study, you think is gonna take a better part of a year, maybe?
Well, by the time it's all said and done, I would say so, if not longer.
Any board member have any thoughts on this? This would be at the present time, would be a real small district.
It'd be extremely small, maybe 5 users that I can think of, where there's property on the lots. It would be a very expensive project right now. And if you're gonna do that, are you gonna, I mean, you would have to core bore the road, put a sleeve in on 2 roads, Route 11, Route 9, depending on how this is done. And then you may wanna look into bringing sewer at the same time if you do it. So I don't think it's a simple answer of just, yes, we're gonna bring you water, or no, we're not gonna. I think it needs to be studied, looked at, and that's what this study we're gonna do would look into. If that's the area we wanna develop, or is there other areas that are more suited for development? I mean, it is Route 11, but is it the #1 spot we wanna spend our time and efforts in right now?
Sometimes with a commercial, do you have a water district up to the other side of Route 11 on the north side?
No, it's the village of Champlain.
It goes right up to there?
Well, it stops short of the corner, the way the corporate limits of the village are defined. It stops back, I think there's 3 houses from the corner of Route 11. So it's, you know, I don't know how many feet we're talking here, but just dealing with the Route 11, I mean, getting underneath that and the permits and everything else is required. And forming a district for 5 people, it's gonna be very expensive, I think.
Sometimes with a commercial tenant like that, or a commercial user, they may be willing to pay the cost.
He mentioned that they would probably pay up to $15,000 or so. Apparently, they're under some sort of order by the health department to treat their water because of the pharmacy and so on and so forth. They have a well there now, and they were basing this based on the cost of buying the filtration equipment and chlorination and so on and so forth versus what it would cost to get, you know, a public water. So that's where the request came from. But if there was a lot of businesses and development along there, I think it would be pretty easy decision, but right now, I don't know. That's my feeling.
I'm hoping that this water study that we're gonna have done here, water and sewer study, will address several, areas in town, Route 11 being one of them. We have many areas, West Service Road, we've got Route 11 away from the village even, going east. I just don't know where we go with this at this time, especially with this study right on our heels, it's coming right away.
Well, I've been involved with that, shared services grant, and, I'm in agreement with Mickey that, you know, I'd like to see what this study's gonna, do. We have a meeting on the 19th, or 22nd of, this month, and we're having, Fred Testa from EFC come down and meet with us and kind of see where we're gonna go.
Yeah, we have to.
We're gonna try to prioritize among the shared services, how we're, gonna go about this, with this, grant.
Okay? I'm just,
You did research that survey that was done there before, about 6-7 years ago, how they were gonna bring the water on that side of the road? I mean, it might help you out if we looked that up.
No, I didn't see, I didn't have a chance to look at that.
That's those plans I gave you a while back, that I had that done at one time, but I don't remember where they were gonna come from, but they were gonna be on that side of the road, but how, I don't know. I mean, it might give you a shot there.
It would still be pretty expensive though,
Well,
I think for,
The cost would be.
I mean, and then everybody would have to be on board as to wanting it, and then what's the cost gonna be? Otherwise, are we gonna put in a water system and then say, here it is, now you have to pay for it? I mean, I don't know, that's a good way to do business.
personally, I'd like to wait until this water sewer study is done. See where we're going. It'll address a lot of issues other than just extending our lines. Hopefully it does anyways.
We wanna make a motion on that.
I don't think we need a motion, there's no action to be taken, I don't believe, but
No, I'm just bringing it to the board to let you know, I did get a phone call, and, you know, I just don't wanna tell the guy my opinion, I want your opinion.
yeah. I think we're so close to a study being done, I don't know that we should look at this. We should, whoever does the study for us, engineering firms, give us a recommendation. My personal. Water and sewer is not cheap to put in or install or maintain. Just for information only, the high school uses this particular room right here Mondays and Wednesday mornings for GED class. And they're asking to extend that to Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, an extra day. Don't know that we need a board motion for that, I know information only. The Border Patrol uses it, I believe, one Thursday a month, so that works well there. Does anybody else on the board have anything to bring before the board? Okay, I would like a short executive session to discuss contract. 5 minutes or less, I hope. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we go to regular session and to executive session.
Thank you.
Second that motion.
All those in favor? Opposed, carried. Anything on that, Bill?
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A roll call of members.
Mayor Moore,
Here.
trustee Martin,
Here.
trustee Trombley is excused tonight, trustee Southwick.
Here.
Trustee Garrett will be shortly.
Everyone had a chance to read the minutes of the last meeting. So we'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting as read.
So moved. Second.
Second. there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the ayes have it. Presentation of petitions, communications, and notices. Is there anyone who wishes to address the board from the community?
I do.
Go ahead. State your name.
Terry Lincourt, I work for the village. And, last Tuesday, I guess you came in and made a decision to, whenever I work any overtime, that 50 cent an hour increase in pay I got back in February, I'm not gonna get that.
Well, I can't comment on anything that's subject to collective bargaining, so, I can't address that this time.
Really?
Whatever you had before, you still have.
No. Before we signed the
That's all I
union,
can say
before we
about
signed the union cards, this was February 13th meeting, it says right here, approval employee wage increase. A motion was made by trustee Southwick and seconded by trustee Martin to increase Terry Lincourt's hourly pay rate by 50 cents effective 2/14/06.
Okay, well, I can't address that here at the board meeting, that's subject to negotiations, and I cannot address that.
Then why didn't you come out back and talk to me in the break room and say when you decided you're gonna do this?
I'm available at any time, Terry, you want me to.
I was available right there, you could've come right out there and talked to me.
Okay, well, if you wanna talk about it, just let me know.
We will talk about it right across the road after the meeting, after this board meeting.
Okay. Anyone else like to make a comment? Now, 11.
Speak up. Don't be bashful.
I have something to say. The lift station down in Filion,
Not filling out right down here in the corner.
Filion's old house, it's been broke for over a year and a half. I've been bringing it up. It's a way to cut the cost of the light bill because the check bill's been frozen. And I understand if we could save the village money working efficiently, we could, have a little extra money on equipment. This has been broke for over like 2 years now, and I've been bringing it up. The pump just keeps circulating. And I think that it should be looked at. I mean, it's over 2 years now.
Okay, whereabouts is this lift station located?
Down in Filion's old house.
Whereabouts?
First house on, as soon as you go down the hill past the telephone company.
It froze a few years back. When the pump kicks on, the water runs up the pipe and it runs back
down by
in.
the river there?
Yeah.
It's not functioning at all?
It's functioning, but improper, If you had a garden hose running in your backyard for like 2 years, I think you would shut the valve if you got a high water bill. And I'm sure it's not running efficiently with the light bill. It's not pumping capacity.
Plus you only have one pump at the lift station behind the barber shop, and that's the main one that feeds all the village instead of 3.
Needs to wait for the town and those two to figure out what they're doing.
That's not the town, that's the
Okay.
village.
Thanks. If anyone else has a comment? Mike, identify yourself.
Michael Rock, village employee. Basically the same issue Terry has with the money. I know you say you can't, talk to us about it because it's an issue. The problem I have with it is, if it was an issue, then we should never got this from the beginning, because when our cards were signed, nothing's supposed to be changed from the time our cards were signed until negotiations. Well, it has changed in the middle of the process. And from my understanding of all the paperwork that we've gathered and stuff like that, what's that place, PERB or whatever the hell it's called, and Albany labor standards for federal, which is what we're under, so there's no way that can be done. I mean, it's not right. I can see the fact that before we went to the union or something, if it happened then, that's one thing. But then if we've been getting it for like 5 or 6 months, and then all of a sudden it gets taken away, I don't see how you could pay somebody for 5 or 6 months and then all of a sudden say, well, we're negotiating, we can't do that. I mean, once you sign cards, you froze for whatever you have.
Okay, thanks for your comment. Anyone else wish to make a comment? Now we'll proceed with report of Mickey Tatro, codes enforcement.
I don't really have very much, I'm just waiting to hear from the board as to what you want me to do with the Patterson project. Mrs. Weir saying that it got dismissed from court. I think there was a miscommunication between the judges on that. Talking with Judge Favreau, he said that if it happens again, to bring her up again and they'll try to do better this time. But I still have some other things, that Patterson building, he hasn't contacted me. Now, I've heard around that someone's been working in there, but I have not been in there. And I would ask the village board that when he, if and when he does allow me to go in there, that we have an engineer go in to, look at the structure of that. I'm not an engineer, it can be a professional opinion. If he's gonna claim that it's fixed or repaired to standards, looking at it from the outside, I don't see where it's fixed or repaired to standards.
Is that the former Mason building?
Yeah, it's on the corner by the bridge. I mean, the cornice is still open, the back windows, the stairway, whatever's there is basically just falling in. I mean, no one lives there, but it's a dangerous building.
Yeah, we plan on taking that up to the business, Mickey, to have an engineer go with you to inspect the property and do an evaluation. I believe that's the next step, to do an evaluation of the property.
Yeah, survey. The other thing I have is, I was asked today, I understand you want to put a new boiler in the back, and there was some questions concerning the venting of the appliances that are there. I did some research on that today, and I don't know offhand the size of that chimney, but I think that the oil furnace and the molding unit that's hanging from the ceiling of that chimney, without knowing the size of it, it would be allowed to continue like that as long as the size of the chimney is big enough to handle both appliances. What's not legal back there is that gas water heater hooked into the vent pipe from the boiler. That you would have to change. But as far as taking the two appliances out of one chimney, the way the code reads, as long as the chimney is of sufficient size to allow for venting of both appliances, then it's legal. The boiler has not been inspected since '93 by the state. That's another requirement all public buildings have to have. I wouldn't recommend calling him today to look at that, but when you decide on what you're going to do for a boiler, the state guy does have to come and look at that. It has to be certified. It's either every year or every 2 years. So those are some considerations you might want to consider.
Are there any questions for the code enforcement officer? If not, thanks, Mickey. As a mayor's report, there's one thing that's come to light here is the quad centennial is coming up for Samuel D. Champlain. It was suggested that we might want to do something, seeing as how it'll be 100 years since that monument was put in, and I believe it was the first monument to Samuel Champlain that was put in. So I was wondering if Steve would be willing to look into that, see what we might want to do in 2009 to commemorate that.
Sure.
Everybody agree with that? Anyone else want to work on that with Steve, or? I know Celine was talking about that, and she was thinking it might be a good thing to kick off that centennial, or quad centennial.
I'd like to involve Mr. Flayon too, our new historian. Okay.
Very good. I think that's all I had at this time. Have a report of Trustee Martin. Oh, does anyone have any questions on the report? I'll move on to Trustee Martin.
Okay, at a shared services meeting on December 7th, one of the things that we discussed, and I don't know, Mickey, if you've got a chance to consider this, was consolidating the billing process between the town and the village, so that all the billing would come in here, and we would work out a process. Am I right?
Right. I talked to Donna about it, to see if the computer program you have would be compatible to do this.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna check on some of that stuff, and then I'm supposed to check with the town attorney as to the legalities of how it would be broke down for the money that has to go back into the districts. I mean, how, if and how we could physically do this. So.
I think that's something that we've talked about with shared services prior to this. Been looking at this bridge support down on Route 9. I need to set up a meeting, I guess, with the Department of Transportation and NYSEG. There's some safety issues that need to be addressed as we progress to get that bracing fixed, back up to whatever we need to do here. I'd like to thank the crew for their work at the water plant, fixing that roof set up and getting the pump pump, the new water pump installed. We need to get some electrical work done and get that online as soon as possible. And then we can go from there, whatever we need to do with the other two pumps, if we need to take them out and refurbish them or continue to let them go as is. I guess they're working more effectively now, I think. What do you think?
That's what I've been told.
Yes?
Yes.
More effective? Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Do you have any questions for Greg? If not, we need to report of trustee Southwick.
I just wanted to say I thought the village decorations looked really good this year. You guys did a good job making them look good. It'd be nice if we had more of them, but maybe we can get to that point. I'd also like to mention that I would not want to be on the committee deciding who's going to win for the decorating contest. There's a lot of people in the village that have done a great job of decorating their homes. It's nice to see. The only other thing I wanted to add in response to, or in addition to the shared services committee information Greg talked about, is that we've been told that we're going to find out by the end of the year about whether we got the grant or not on our reapplication. And looking forward to finding out, hopefully in a positive manner, that we did receive the grant. And that's all I have.
Any questions for Steve? Now we'll proceed with the report of trustee Garrett.
Now, the note of that decorating contest, judging is occurring this week through Sunday. So please make sure you leave your lights on at night because it will be judged both day and night. And we're doing a little bit different this year. It won't be a first, second, and third place. We are going to do a Griswold Christmas house. We are going to do the best traditional house. And we'll come up with a third category. There will be three categories, but we thought that we would do the Griswold in a traditional Christmas look, as opposed to first, second, and third. So we hit the different categories, and we are working on creating the third. We have not decided on what the third topic should be. We are still in the arguing stage of that. However, the houses do look fabulous, and we're looking forward to putting a judging out there for a winner, per se. And we'll get that out to the public so that everyone can be sure and get around and see them before everybody takes down the beautiful decorations. And that's all I have this time. Thank you.
Any questions on trustee Garrett's report? Now we'll move to presentation of warrant and payment. We accept the motion to approve the warrant. I think there's an addition to that.
Yes, we do. We have one addition, is to add a payment to reimburse the village, or the town of Champlain for the $300 violation charge.
What is that for?
That's water testing that was, well, Woody would know better than myself.
Water testing, the samples that have been missed since 2003. It was accumulation of various samples that have been missed. 2004? I don't have it.
2004 started.
There's a $300 fine for that. And the reason we failed to submit these?
Some was lack of information from the proper place, other was, one of them was mine, I forgot to fill out the paperwork correctly.
Before we get too far into more discussion, we should make a motion.
We need to requisition discussion.
No, we need a motion for the warrant.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? What, if you have any more questions?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay, if there's no discussion,
This
this
is
is
right.
the warrant. Right.
Okay,
Any questions, Greg?
yeah, I have a question on this, on the windshield for the new home. This isn't an insurance claim?
We submitted a insurance claim, I think we received $100 for that.
what happened to the window in the first place?
Vandalism during the summer, it took us a while to get one here in one piece.
Okay, so maybe $100 insurance? I guess that's it.
The water plant roof, did we budget that?
Yes, we did.
Any further discussion? Do we have the plant questions answered? Okay, Trustee Martin?
Yes.
Trustee Southwick?
Aye.
Trustee Gary?
Aye.
Mayor Moore, aye. The report from clerk treasurer.
Everybody's been copied with revenue and expense report for the month of November.
At the wastewater plant, how much more are we projecting to take in from WAC? We seem to be doing extremely well this year.
We're averaging anywhere between 5,000 and 10,000 gallons a week.
Would you expect that to continue?
A week? Oh, gallons, I'm sorry, I'm
Gallons,
talking
please.
about dollars.
Yeah,
That'd be really nice.
At the rate it's going, with the colder weather coming in, I expect that to continue.
I was just curious. Doing quite well there.
Just bring that up, we're running about, now we're halfway through the year, we're about 47% on the water and 47% on the sewer, which means we're running a little bit below budget, budgeted for revenues. But it is close, I guess. Okay, at this time, we'd like to present purchase orders. I think I'll group these together if there's any comment on these individually.
Did you want to do a motion? Did we do a motion and a second on the?
Yes. You want it? Yeah, we just did that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I think I'll group them together and we can ask questions individually if we need to on these. They are one for a General Electric switch, 475 plus 3 for at the water plant for a pump. We have a pilot mechanical level control float switch at the wastewater treatment plant, calibration of the color meter, wastewater treatment plant at $240. Float switch was $69.75, and the chlorine calibration standards were $107. Would entertain a motion to pay these purchase orders.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion?
Aren't we supposed to get 3 quotes on expenses like this, or no? Well, at least,
For the switch, that's an item-specific type of switch that fits in that panel box.
and there's only one place that carries that?
There's one manufacturer that makes it.
Okay, that's not the question. Is there only one place
That's,
that carries it?
this is the local distributor for General Electric switches.
Any other discussion on these purchase orders? Not Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Southwick?
Aye.
Trustee Gary?
Aye.
Mayor Moore, aye. Just one comment under the treasurer's report. Got this from Juanita from putting money in the savings account at TD Bank North instead of our old bank. We made a savings of, well, actually we earned $4,368 in interest on our savings account, $352.29 on the checking account, and on the trust and agency money, $80.84. This is money that we previously didn't see, and it's a good thing. I want to congratulate you, Juanita, on saving the village this money, and Donna, I know you were involved in this also.
Yeah,
Great job.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Holy cow. Sweetness.
Oh, and we also have a certificate from training in accounting principles and procedures. I believe this is the second level. Juanita, is this true?
Yes.
So there's training in Lake Placid. And as always, I'm really glad to see people who do training, and congratulations on that also. Okay, well now the report of the superintendent.
We've had some issues dealing with Cherry Street. It's been looked at by the attorney. We haven't received any information back as of yet. Last month's emergency response plan is down at Clinton County Health Department for review for the water plant. Cross-connection control laws is also there for them to review. Thanks to the guys for doing the roof and installing the pump. And I don't have much more than that at this point.
Okay, are there any questions for the superintendent?
Do you have an electrician lined up?
Yes, as soon as the switch comes in, it's going to come up. He does a lot of the mechanical controls of various other water and sewer plants.
Okay. Being there no further questions, Juanita, could you read the correspondence?
Correspondence from NCCS requesting water and sewer rates for 2007-2008. Correspondence from PERMA with renewal quote for workman's compensation. Correspondence from Flynn Paquette regarding the first round of the Northern Tier Expressway. Correspondence from USDA regarding vulnerability assessment and emergency response plan for the village. Letter to Marie Dupree regarding her appointment as selection inspector. Letter to Richard Fillion regarding his appointment as village historian. Correspondence from Empire Blue Cross regarding January 2007 increase. Correspondence from Clinton County Planning Department regarding resolution adopting the Clinton County Pre-Disaster Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan. Correspondence to Trustee Martin from ESC regarding information on the programs they administer. Correspondence to Stacy Gooley regarding his water supply and wastewater treatment to Borderview Grocery. Correspondence from New York State Electric and Gas regarding general public education in relation to gas and pipeline safety. Letter, or thank you letter from Trustee Martin to Robert Davis from ESC.
Okay, is there any of this correspondence anyone wants to add to new business, other than what we have? Okay, if not, we'll move on to old business. The Time Warner Cable franchise, Rouse's Point settled their franchise, and Kim was gonna get back to them and find out what they had done. Kim is not here tonight, so we'll be able to move on that. On the boiler quotes, Greg, did you have anything new on that?
Well, I think we have some quotes that we can use, but upon further inspection and further consideration, I think we'll need to look at those and in fact probably go out for bid again if we want to add a water boiler on furnace boiler, I guess I can use, so we can eliminate a redundant service, a hot water heater in the back room. I think will be more efficient and be less costly for the village, more cost effectiveness for the village. So if we could, I'd like to put this back out with those new specifications and hold this until the January meeting so that we can award the bids then.
Can I make a clarification? We
Yes,
never
please.
went out to bid for those.
No,
All we did was ask for quotes.
Oh, okay.
So you need to, clarify if you wanna go out to bid or if you wanna just receive quotes. You can,
I think quotes would, I mean, this is my own opinion, I think quotes would be better because there may be some differences in service or whatever that we may want to consider. I think if you go out to bid, you have to take the lower bidder, am I correct on that?
No.
No? We can also.
Well, you have your specifications written down, what you're looking for exactly is how bid works. So everybody bids on the same things what you're looking for. Makes it,
I think going out for quotes would be appropriate, if that's okay with us.
I just want to weigh in here too, that I think the problem is that we're really not comparing apples to apples with the quote that we got, that we need to say And I agree, we don't need that natural gas hot water tank. We need to have an add-on to the oil burner, and then we don't have to deal with the vent issue. Am I correct?
Right, but when you say an add-on now, are you talking about an indirect hot water unit, or are you talking about a tankless coil? Which would, I mean, whoever's gonna bid is gonna need to know this.
Yeah, tankless
Otherwise,
coil.
it'll be confusing. I would think the tankless coil would be the way you would wanna go,
Right.
not hot water you use here.
Right.
So as long as you're,
Shut off the hot water. Do you need hot water pretty good?
be cold by.
Well, we do,
What?
we do have the need for a little bit of power.
Just leave your door unlocked.
Back there?
Just leave your door unlocked.
I don't know what we should be specifying in a request for bids, but I think that's the route we should go. Maybe the guys have the expertise to do that, or Jeff, I don't know.
Well, I think for the quote, we need to include a header for the two appliances that we have and a tankless water heater. And looking at it too, I think we need to replace at least two of the circulators. The other two probably not.
We can look at just two, if the cost is minimal, you know, we better have to replace all four, but depending upon how the others, the two new ones, how long they've been there.
Well, whichever you think is appropriate, and we can, but just as long as everybody has to give us a quote on the same thing, I think that's the only differences that we have.
Mike, do you have a comment?
How about the control box for those separate zones? I mean, I didn't notice if that was new or old back there, but. I put a lot of boilers in, that's why I'm asking this question. When you get into circulators and zones, you have to have the controls that can isolate them and separate them, so your thermostats, you're not heating every room at one time, you can just heat certain sections. If you don't include the control with that, you know, I mean, I don't know how old the other one is, but you might want to look at it. And if you're going to add zones, has it got the capability of adding more?
Well, there's four here.
There's four, so you probably have a 5-zone control box if they're a newer style, but.
Yeah, I think they all function at this time. And turn them up and down.
The other thing we had talked about earlier today, are you gonna consider a water softener for this boiler? Because with hard water, you're gonna diminish the lifespan of your boiler due to the minerals and everything in the water.
And that would probably deal with a different supplier though for the water softener, I would think. But we could, if you want, or you're able to that, to get bids on a water softener also. That would be separate from the boiler.
Would it have to be? Would the person getting the quote be able to ask their supplier for a price? I don't
They
know.
could, most plumbers or heating contractors, they deal with all that stuff. But again, you have to know how big a softener you're gonna want. I mean, you know, they should come and test the water and let you know what the grains of hardnesses you have, and then you can base your softener on that. And then there's all types of bells and whistles as to, you can get programmable or by the day, by the meter, all these things, if you want them to bid equally. Otherwise, you're gonna get a lot of different quotes and a lot of different information.
Well, I think we'd probably want to separate those two quotes, so, because we've left this boiler out there for a while.
Yeah. Okay, we're separate.
And I guess
offers.
we'll leave that up to you, Greg, to decide, maybe get together with Nikki or someone and see what we want to do for the water softener.
You guys have a test that would tell the hardness, correct? Okay.
I can tell you what it is.
Okay, under new business, we have a resolution for adoption of the Clinton County Pre-Disaster Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan. Yeah, I think we could go ahead and read that one, it's not too long.
Resolution for the adoption of the Clinton County Pre-Disaster multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan. Whereas the Village of Champlain, 1104 Route 9, Champlain, New York, with the assistance from Clinton County and the Friends of the North Country, have gathered information and prepared Clinton County pre-disaster multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan. And whereas the Clinton County pre-disaster multi-jurisdiction hazard mitigation plan has been prepared in accordance with the Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000. Whereas the Village of Champlain is a local unit of government that has afforded citizens an opportunity to comment and provide input in the plan and the actions in the plan. And whereas the Village of Champlain has reviewed the plan and affirms that the plan will be updated no less than every 5 years. Now therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Village of Champlain hereby adopts the Clinton County pre-disaster multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan as its jurisdictional national hazard mitigation plan and resolves to execute the actions in the plan.
Okay, right. Okay, is that, I would entertain a motion to accept this resolution.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Not. Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Southwick?
Aye.
Trustee Garrett?
Aye.
Mayor Moore, aye. Another item under new business is I would entertain a motion to go with NICEAG Solutions as our electric and gas supplier this year. We are not quite finished doing the research on this, is exactly which is the cheapest way to go. Donna and Juanita are working on this right now, but I think we could go ahead. We're going to need to act on this before the first of the year. So NICEAG Solutions offers a fixed and a variable rate. So we're going to do the math on that, try to come up with a good estimate on that. But I would like to have a motion to go with NICEAG Solutions with the plan that we feel is most appropriate after the research.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Trustee Martin?
Aye.
Trustee Southwood?
Aye.
Trustee Gary?
Aye.
Mayor Moore, aye. Okay, we also have a resolution to approve equipment sharing with the town and sharing insurance coverage with them. I think one you need to just read the cover page for this. It's a lengthy document.
The town board approved the resolution at the regular meeting to do the shared. It's authorizing the highway superintendent to permit the renting, exchanging, or borrowing of machinery and equipment and the selling or exchanging of materials and supplies with other municipal corporations, political subdivision, district corporation, fire district, or school district. The town passed the resolution